Good afternoon. Hi, it's Jason. This is the Hostos Student Leadership Academy Friday Ambassador Workshop Series. We're happy to have you here. It's the day before spring break. Everybody's feeling the warm weather and we're excited, but we're going to be inspired before we go out there and enjoy our time away from the building or from the educational environments that we're studying right now. And I'm really happy to bring back one of our former members, a Hostos Student Ambassador, a wonderful individual who has taken on a number of different things in her life to build and empower people. And so we talked about having Hephzibah come and join us this week and give a workshop. And I'm excited for her to beat you and inspire you. And the name of her workshop, the title of her workshop, I have to read it because it's hers. How to use ingenuity in your education and career. And so I ask for a virtual round of applause for our Hostos alum.
Thank you, guys. Thank you, Jason, so much for your introduction. I am so happy and so excited to be with you all today. I am so honored that Jason would give me this opportunity to just be with you guys and speak to you guys about things that I'm super, super passionate about. And I'm so excited to share with you all. I want you all to know off the bat that I am here for you all, that I am here for you all, that I am not just here to present something to you. I'm not here just to, because I like the sound of my own voice. I'm here to cater to your needs, to cater to the things that are important to you, to your own growth, to the way that you are about to express leadership in every capacity, wherever you are and wherever you go, you're going to grow. And so because I'm here for you, I want to make sure that you guys are ready to ask questions. I want to make sure that you guys are ready to share and that you can ask me just anything as we go, anything that you're wondering about, anything that you just want to jot down because it inspired you, or you want to elaborate more about that, you want to expand more upon that. I want to make sure that you are writing it down and that we're working through it together because, like I said, you're about to grow. I know, I see it. You're awesome. You have an amazing leader, Jason. You have amazing resources around you. And so I'm just excited. I'm excited to see where you are all going to go. And we're going to go together. Okay, because we are in the process of building a better world, a better society, and you are a part of that with all of your gifts, with all of your talents, with all of the things that you're passionate about. We're going to make a huge impact in the world. And so I am going to begin presenting. I have a presentation for you all. I believe you can see, you're able to still see my screen as I am presenting. So I'm going to share that with you. Um, okay, I'm going to share my screen with you all. Are you able to see my screen? Wait, how would you tell me though? Can you all see my screen? Just give me a thumbs up. Okay, it says it's loading. We just refresh it. All right, here we go. Over here, because that's who you are. Actually, student presentation is catered for you. And so first thing we're going to do is actually out here. I'm going to ask you, what is innovation? What is innovation for you all? Now, you can write it down on the chat. Let's just do that. Let's just write it down on the chat. What is the definition of innovation for you? My volume is low. Is my volume low, everybody?
Yes.
Yes, it is. Oh no. Should I get closer? Or maybe I'm going to use headphones just in case. Can you all hear me better? Yes, better? Okay. Awesome, awesome, awesome. Okay, I see some definitions right here. Innovation is a new idea. Innovation is to learn more. Correct. That is all correct. Anybody else? Any other definitions for innovation? What is innovation to you? How would you describe innovation? Anyone else? Gonna give it a few more minutes. Innovation, creation. That is really important. Creation, 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 especially because I believe that we all have a creative gene. I believe that we are all born to create. I believe we were born to create. Um, is there realization of new ideas? Absolutely. New ideas, fresh ideas, learning more. You cannot divorce innovation from having a new idea. You cannot divorce innovation from creating. Uh, and so all of these are 100% correct. And so I'm going to come back to my Prezi presentation and and we're going to talk more about it. Here we go. All right. Innovation is, according to the Merriam-Webster dictionary, innovation is a new idea, a method or device, a novelty. It is the introduction of something new. And ingenuity, which is especially something that we are talking about today, is the skill or cleverness in devising or combining, is inventiveness. Okay, so a new idea, something that you haven't seen before, a new method, a new way of doing things, something that hasn't been seen before. And we can see it all around us. Now, I want you all to look at your surroundings right now. Look at where you are right now, all around you. Look at the room you are in. I know one of you is outside in the park. Some of you may still be outside as well. Wherever you are, look around you and you're going to notice things around you. You're going to notice the signs. You're going to notice ideas. It was an idea that somebody had for the world that we live in. Somebody thought up the world we live in. Somebody thought up the earrings that I'm wearing. Somebody thought up the clothes that you're wearing, the chair you're sitting in, the even the headphones I am using right now. Somebody thought it up. And so you think about those things and you think about the fact that none of these people that created these things that you use, this world that we live in right now, none of them are smarter than you. You are just as smart and just as creative and just as inventive as all of these people. And so you have the ability to create a world. I want you to think about that for a little bit because that's going to be the basis of everything we're going to talk about today. you have the ability to create a better world than the one that you are living in right now. You have the ability to improve upon the world that you're living in right now. And some of the things may look different, correct? So some of you may go into technology. And so that means that you will make the Zoom experience for all of us a lot better. That means that you are going to discover something groundbreaking when it comes to technology that we're all going to be able to use. And then now that becomes the world that we live in. And so when you think about innovation and ingenuity, you're thinking about something that can radically change the things around us as they are, but you're also thinking about a new way, a different way that we haven't thought of before. And so, innovation and ingenuity, and you can write those down, and you can already begin to think about different things in different ways that you can improve the world that you're living in right now, where you are right now, the experience that we are having right now. All right. So, the first thing, actually, we talked about that. Look around you. What kind of world do you live in? Who created it? It was a person. It was a person just like you. What do you notice about its design? And what would you change? There are things that I know that you would change because you are just as smart as the person that created what we're using right now, where we're living right now. And so I want you all to think about these things. Just going to read a little bit off my notes to make sure that I'm not missing anything. So human beings are inherently creators, right? Some of us create objects. Some of us create things that we use. Some of us have inventions, things that will make our lives easier. Now, others create community spaces. For example, Jason has created this community, this space for us to grow and for us to learn and for us to improve our skills. And so maybe you are a person that maybe you're not that well with when it comes to technology or when it comes to physical things, but you are really good at people and you're really good at creating safe spaces for people to grow and blossom. And so that is part of creativity as well. That is part of innovation and ingenuity as well. Um, yeah, so we've created this space right here where we can learn and we can sharpen our skills. Um, how you can make the most out of what you are doing or where you are going, whatever your career is. I want you to have in mind what your career is, what you are studying right now at Hostos, and I want you to have in mind whatever, if some of you have jobs, so whatever you're working as right now can give you actually a variety of skills for you to apply right now. And those skills actually are going to grow and expand as you move on to other things. Now, what is the foundation of leader innovators? What is the foundation? Four things, very, very important. Belief. You need to believe in yourself. Your belief system rules everything, everything that you do, everything that you are, everywhere you go, everything that you engage in, what you believe about yourself is going to affect the things that are around you. It's going to affect your surroundings. It's going to affect what you give and how much you give to every task, to every industry that you are a part of. And so you need to affirm yourself in that belief that I am an innovator. I am a person that is called to ingenuate. I am a person that is called to create. I'm going to create. I am going to be an inventor. I am those things. I am those things right now. Not that I will be those things later, but I am those things right now. And so, wherever you are right now, even though your mic is muted, I want you to repeat on yourself. I know it might sound a little crazy, but I want you to repeat to yourself, I am an innovator. I am an innovator. I am an innovator. And guess what? We're innovating right now because we're learning. And as we are learning and as we are discussing these things, we are growing and we are expanding and we are already changing the world around us where we are right now. So, what you believe about yourself. If you don't believe that you can make anything happen, guess what? You won't make anything happen. So you need to first believe. The belief system is everything. It is the foundation of everything. Um, I want you all to know this. I want you all to know that the society you live in already thinks that you can't do it, especially if you're a person of color. You know that our society and the way that our society is structured is working against us, right? Especially if you're a woman. Our society already believes you can't do it. And so if people that are outside of you don't believe you can't do it, then that means that you need to believe that you can do it. And guess what? Not only you believe that you can do it, but the community that you're a part of. You're part of the Student Leadership Academy. You're part of the Hostos Student Leadership Academy. So that means that you are surrounded by people who believe in you, who believe that you can do it, and who believe that you are all those things that you are already calling into existence that you are. And so believe, 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 believe that you can do it. Do not repeat negative words over yourself. Negative words actually psychologically, they affect uh, how you uh, how you behave. They affect your thinking patterns. They affect what things you choose to do and what things you choose not to do. They affect the people around you. And so people can feel your energy. They can feel whether you believe in yourself or not. They can feel, and that doesn't mean that you have to be a super confident person and a super extroverted person. That just means that you need to own who you are. I am these things. I am these things right now. I am an innovator. I am a smart person. I am someone that has a lot of good to give. And so, first, believe. The second thing is think. Think. The way that you think. Your belief system affects the way you think. So, if you don't believe you can't do it, then your thinking is actually going to be stuck. You're not going to be able to innovate. The innovation happens in the heart and in the mind. And so that means that when as you believe in yourself and you build up this confidence that I am an innovator and I am a person that is born to create, that is born to create a better world, right? You begin to think innovatively. You begin to think ingenuitively. You begin to think the way that you can improve the things around you. Now, I wasn't always like this, okay? I used to think very, very negatively about myself. I used to believe I can't do this. There's no way. It's not possible. And because of that, there's so many things that took me so long for me to do and so long for me to work on because of my belief system. I also, had a really difficult childhood. I remember the first poem I wrote, and I showed it to my mother. And my mother, when she read it, she said, "That's not true. You didn't write that." And so when she said that to me, that literally affected my confidence. It affected my belief. And so my belief system in myself, when it came to my writing, was completely destroyed because my primary caregiver did not believe that I wrote it. Now, she thinks very different things about my writing now. She's very, very proud of me. But those early things that happen in your life, or those things that happen at your job, at your first job, or in school, those things affect you. They affect the way you think about yourself. They affect what you believe about yourself. And so change the way you think. Change the way you think. Change the way you think and change the status quo. You don't have to whenever people say things are just the way they are, you can't change them. Don't believe them, because what they're trying to do is they're trying to control you and they're trying to manipulate you. They're trying to box you and they're trying to label you and they're trying to say, there's no way. This can't change. But you know what? There's been so many amendments and revolutions that we've seen in the world because people believe that there could be a change. And so you need to change the way you think. And so that means that you don't just color outside the lines. That means that you now disrupt the lines. You challenge the lines. You tell the lines, you know what? You don't have to be lines anymore. I want you to be circles, or I want you to be stars. I want you to be sparks. Whatever you want to happen, guess what? You can make it happen. Can you all hear me okay? Because I can't see you. Um, I don't want to X out of the presentation, but I can't see you guys' faces. So I hope that you are
So
able
it's
to.
some in the chat is some people are saying it's a little low. Is if you can put the microphone a little closer.
Okay, my microphone needs to be closer.
Can everybody hear me?
Yes, Jason.
Think
Let
your
me.
microphone just a little closer.
Okay, is this better, everybody? Is this better? Did I make it louder, Jason?
It's like a mixed bag. I think
Okay.
Yanira assigned back in and she got better sound. I don't know. It's a weird day for Zoom. But some people are
Okay,
saying they can hear you loud and clear, and others are saying they can't.
got it. Okay, I'm going to put my mic closer here just in case. Okay, cool. All right, awesome. So where were we? Um, we were thinking about um, thinking. The way that you think is everything. The way that you think is the way your world is going to be. Is it dictates how much you can create and how much you can innovate with what you are called to do, with your career, with your special job, with the job that you're in right now, and what you are learning right now. Now, the third thing, and all of these things are very, very important. I think the my favorite one out of all of them is probably serving. These are the foundations of innovators. We serve. We are there for the needs of people. We are there for the needs of others. That is actually what defines what a leader is. A leader does not think about themselves. They don't think about their own glory and their own praise and their own voice, but they think about how they can serve others, how they can love on others, how they can make others' life better. And so this is super, super, super important because we live in a society that is inherently consumeristic. And people were never born to be consumed. People were never born to be used. People were born to be loved. People were born to be served. People were born to be embraced. And so, because of that, it is very important that whatever it is that you are thinking of doing, whatever it is that you are thinking of improving upon, you do it because you want to serve others. And then that means that you identify where needs are. Now, you don't think, I want to do this because it's a cool idea. You don't want to do something because it's just a cool idea. You want to do something because it meets a need. And so you observe the things around you in your particular career, in the things that you're interested in right now. Where are the needs? Where are the needs? The goal is always to serve people, always. And so measure your success by how well you serve those around you. So that means that you don't have to wait. You don't have to wait to finish your degree. You don't have to wait to get to some type of mountain that the world told you that you needed to climb, or the world told you that you needed to live by those standards or those rules. You actually can have the highest measure of success right now by how well you serve those around you. Now, then you think about executing. Executing. The what and the how will change depending on where you are. And so that means that you're not locked in where you are right now, right? But you're going to use the same skills and the same beliefs and the same ingenuity and innovation where you are right now as in the future. You practice now. You're a seed. You're growing. And so if you think of yourself as a seed, and you sow yourself, you plant yourself somewhere. Right now, you have planted yourself at Hostos, right? You have planted yourself in your particular career, in your particular field of study. This is where you begin to execute actually. You don't innovate later. Innovation is not for later. Innovation is for now. You are learning right now. You are growing right now. You are expanding and you are multiplying right now. And so that means that you think of the needs that are around you now as opposed to later. You challenge the rules now as opposed to later. But you're always thinking of how can I serve those around me? And where are the needs? Wherever I am, where are the needs? Where are the things that I can fill? Right. And so both things are happening all at the same time. You're actually fulfilling a need, but then you are also being fulfilled yourself because you are growing. And then at the end, you're going to find that you're going to have so many roots and so many different ways that you can go, that you actually become indispensable to people. You become indispensable to the organizations you work for. You become indispensable to the field that you have planted yourself in. And it is because you are going to be the person that no matter where you are planted, you're going to grow regardless. And that's who you all are. And so you need to think of yourself as that. And so I want you guys to think, and I want you to write down right now. Think about all of those things that seem impossible to you. All of those things that you are saying to yourself, I can't do this, I can't do that, I can't grow in this area. I have this roadblock here, or they won't let me do this, they won't let me do that. I want you to write it down because it's important to recognize the belief system that you already are so that you can replace it with a new belief system that says, I can do these things. I can challenge this status quo. I can challenge that status quo. I can challenge that rule. I'm going to blaze through no matter what. Because every person, every innovator, every person that builds something great, this is exactly what they did. If you look at the story of Tyler Perry, you will see he was living in his car. He didn't have what so many people think that they should have right now. And sometimes I think that we have it backwards. We think, well, I need the resources first, or I need the education first, or I need the right people around me first. That's not true. You need to be the right person first. You need to believe in yourself first. You need to think in a different way first. You need to serve others first. You need to do the most with what you have right now. If you are good with the little, you're going to be great with the much. And I often say this to my students. I'm a teacher, and you will find out a little bit more of my story moving on. But I often speak to my students and I tell them, listen, if you have $100, what you do with those $100 is the equivalent of what you will do with $1 million, and it is the equivalent of what you will do with $1 billion. There is actually no difference. How you steward those 100 will let me know how you will steward that million and how you will steward that billion. And so the issue is not that you don't have enough money. The issue is that you don't know stewardship. You don't know stewardship. And so, because you need to learn stewardship now, you plant yourself in a place and you plant yourself in a belief system, in a thinking system, in a way to serve others and learning to give. So that then you can learn how to steward those $100 well, and then you will be trusted with those $1 million, $1 billion. People that have a lot of money actually know how to save. People that have a lot of money know how to manage their money well, because I could easily have $1 million and spend it in a week. I can easily spend it in a week. There are things that cost $1 million. And so I can spend all of my $1 million in one thing, literally in one day. And so uh, um, what we need is to grow. We need to plant ourselves where we are, and we need to make the most with what we have. And so I want you to think especially about those three things: believe, 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 believe. What do you believe about yourself? I need you to write it down. What do you believe about yourself? and how can we change that belief system so that you can think as an innovator and you can think in the level of ingenuity that you have with the skills that you have with what you have to bring to the table, what you think, and how you serve. Those three things, very, very, very important that you think about. All right, let's move on. Now, I'm going to share a little bit about my testimony. This is just one of the stories of how I use innovation and ingenuity. I have many, many, many others, but I want to use this one specifically because I was still in college when I used this level of ingenuity. And it was the first time that I actually used ingenuity. No, actually, it wasn't. It wasn't the first time. It was one of the first times I used ingenuity to make a lot of money, let's say, to make a lot of money. I had used ingenuity to make money before, but this time around, I was in my senior year of college and I used ingenuity to make a substantial amount of money. Now, I have to be honest with myself. Now, I went to Hostos. I was part of the Leadership Academy at Hostos. And what I studied at Hostos was early childhood education. And when I went to my senior college, when I went to Nyack College, I did both early childhood and elementary education with a minor in biblical studies. Now, as I was going through the process of teaching, through the process of education when it came to teaching, in my particular school was very tough with us when it came to the education field because no person was allowed to graduate from my college if they also were not going to be fully certified in the state of New York. And so the process of being certified by the state of New York was tough, was a rough process, but it was also required by my school. Whereas other schools, if you go to a school in CUNY, you don't necessarily have to have a certification in the field that you're studying. You can actually get your certification after you graduate, but my particular school did not allow me to graduate if I also didn't have the certification in teaching. Now, as I was going through that process at my school, I had to be honest with myself. Why was I studying early childhood education? What was it about early childhood education that made me interested, that made me passionate about that, right? And so I had to be honest with myself. And I realized that I wasn't really interested in being a classroom teacher. I loved education. I love teaching. I love, love, love teaching. I love teaching so much that one of my roommates, I was asking her about a particular speaking engagement I had. And I asked her, well, was it more like a teaching? Well, what was it really? And she said to me, Hephzibah, you teach everything. And I just laughed because I do love to teach. I am passionate about teaching. But being a classroom teacher, especially in the state of New York, is not as easy or it's not as, there's not enough room for innovation, I would say, in the schools of New York. Now, you can innovate, and there are schools that will allow you to do that. But I had to be honest with myself and ask myself, why was I studying early childhood education? Why was I studying this? What was I really interested in? What was I really passionate about? And I love human development. I love human development. And so let me just go through some of the things here. So I was honest with myself, what I love doing and what I'm not really interested in. And then I had a need. The need that I had was that the next semester I had to student teach. I had to do student teaching. And my school allowed me to do part of my student teaching overseas. And I chose to do part of my student teaching in my birth country, in the Dominican Republic. Now, I needed the money to be able to finance that trip and to be able to student teach over there and basically finish college in my country. And so I had that need, but then I wanted to innovate and I wanted to look for other ways that I could use my degree to also impact, to teach, and to make money, of course. Now, I had a need. Other people had needs. I believed I could do it. And I thought myself to be ready. I thought myself to be ready to be what I wanted to become. Now, I serve the needs of a family and a baby, and I formulated a plan based on the family's needs. This is what I did. I marketed myself that summer before I went on to student teaching as an early childhood specialist. And I did that because I wanted to use my degree and I wanted to specifically help families, right? But then I also had a need. I needed to finance a trip. And so a family had a need, and then I had a need, and then I created a job for myself. I used my education, what I already knew, what I was already good at, but also what I was passionate about. And I said to myself, I am an early childhood specialist and I am going to work with newborns and I'm going to specify with preemies, premature babies. I'm going to create plans of development for them and I'm going to see them grow. And I said these things to myself. And that summer, I landed the first job I had until that point. I'm making the most money I had ever had. And so, what was the result? So this was my new career title. I was an early childhood specialist. And mind you, I hadn't even finished my degree yet. And here I was just making the most of it. And so I offered caregiving. I offered, developmentally early childhood education and data and analysis. This baby was a premature baby. There were things that she could not do that babies at her age were able to do. But um, I was able to teach her. I was able to do exercises with her. And I was able to create, actually, I had an entire binder of information that I handed to the family um, for this baby. And the pediatrician actually of this baby was super impressed by the time I left the family to go do student teaching. She said that the baby was doing things that 1-year-olds do. And so these are things that I was able to do. And it was like I found a new career. Even before I finished my college degree, I found a new career. And I created it myself. I never heard of such thing before. I never heard of a specific person working for a specific baby, but I also found families that were able to pay the amount that I believe that was worth to work with that specific baby. And so now I want you to pay attention at this. 90% of my clients wanted me to return because I was able, after I went and I student taught in the Dominican Republic, I actually stayed there for 3 months. I financed my whole trip. And when I came back, I did the same thing, but then I began to be a little pickier with the families that I worked for. I realized that certain families were not good fits for me. And so I actually began to expand myself even more and I began to grow even more. And so at the end, I was then interviewing the families if they would be a good fit for me instead of the families interviewing me as if I would be a good fit for their family. Um, it would be an honor for them to have me as their early childhood specialist instead of the other way around. And so I became I became a commodity. I became the best thing to have, the best thing for them to have. So no longer was I going to them, but they were coming to me. And so that 10% is to innovate further. Now, I want you guys to think about that because this is the thing. Things will never go exactly the way that you plan for them to go. Okay? Things will happen and you will bump into some bumps on the road and things will not go as smoothly because that's not the world we live in, right? But it's important that you know that those opportunities are actually the best things that could happen to you. When things don't work, when things don't go the way that you plan, those are the best times, the perfect times to innovate and the perfect times to grow. I saw this video the other day, and in the video, the lady was saying that success makes us lazy. And that really stuck with me Because the truth of the matter is, success does make us lazy. We learn more from our mistakes and we learn more from our failures than we do from our successes. And so it's very important that when you hit a bump on the road, you don't give up. You never give up. Remember, now you have a different belief system. Now you believe differently about yourself. Now you are an innovator. You say to yourself, I am an innovator. I am a person that operates in ingenuity. And so that means that you have the stamina and you have the strength and you have the determination and you have the perseverance to move past so many things that other people will give up. You know what? Other people will give up. And so other people never get to be a part of the better world that we're building. But you are different. You move past those things. You use those failures. You use those things that go wrong as an opportunity to grow and as an opportunity to multiply yourself and as an opportunity to for your seed to sprout and shed out even another root system in another way, in another direction that you never thought possible. Never think that uh, a failure defines you. You are not a failure. You are not an error and you are not a mistake. And mistakes would happen. You will make mistakes. Let me tell you something. I don't know how many of you are perfectionists. I know I am. I like things to go exactly the way I planned for them to go. And I hate making mistakes. But I had to learn to embrace my mistakes and say, you know what? It's okay. I'm going to learn from this mistake. I actually need those mistakes. When I make a mistake, I grow even more. I don't grow when things go the way that I want them to go. I grow when things happen that are not in alignment with how I want things to go. And so I want you to think about that. And also, I I want to touch on this as well. Don't limit yourself to whatever it is that you're doing right now. So for example, I am a person that I'm interested in a variety of different things. There's a variety of things that I could do. And those things, because of that, sometimes my process has seemed to go slower than other people because there's so many other things that I could do. But the truth of the matter is that because I gave myself the opportunity to be all those things and to go into all those different areas, I was able to acquire skills that I wouldn't have acquired otherwise. For example, I'll give you an example. Maybe 3 years ago, I saw a friend of mine dancing with these flags. They're called swing flags, and you would use a specific fabric that is weighty, and when the weighted fabric swings, the whole flag swings with it. Now it's very expressive. People use it in carnivals, they use it at churches and different places. There's different ways that they could do those things. Now I wanted to learn to do that. Now I'm not a trained dancer. I did take 4 years of professional salsa back when I was in high school. But other than that, I'm not really a trained dancer, a person that somebody would say, oh, I'm gonna learn really well this type of professional dance from this person. Other than salsa, I don't really know. And I started to learn these flags. And before time, I started to make the flags. And 2 years ago, the state of New York hired me and paid me to dance at one of those concerts that they do in the parks. So we were at Riverbank State Park, and the state of New York hired me and paid me to dance two songs. How does that happen? How does that happen that somebody that's not a trained dancer, all of a sudden they're able to get paid and put their creativity and their skills on display? That's because I gave myself that chance. I gave myself that opportunity, and then I was known for it. I built a reputation now that I can dance and I can do this and I can do that. I can do very many different things. So give yourself a chance to develop and grow, even in things that you don't know that well, or things that you believe you're not really qualified for. Give yourself the opportunity to learn and give yourself the opportunity to grow. You don't know how it might help you later. Okay. All right. We're going to move on to developing a plan. Developing a plan. Now think about where you are. Where are you right now? What is your major? Write it down because I want you guys to tell me what your major is, and I want to give you some feedback on different creative ways that you can use your major and you can use your career, your particular job, or the organizations you're working for right now, or just the skills, the hobbies that you have that you thought, well, maybe I could make a career out of this, but everybody keeps telling me that I can't make money out of that, right? If you're interested in photography, digital design, whatever it is that you're interested in, that people tell you, oh, you can't make money for that. An actor, you can't make money as an actor. I was told that when I was in high school. I was told you can't be an actress. You'll never be able to make it. And that held me back from delving into acting because I really believed my teachers when they told me that I couldn't act. But I really wanted to act. And guess what? I can still do it. I'm still giving myself the opportunity to do it. I'm actually working on writing monologues once again. And so, writing, people told me, oh, you're not going to be able to make money out of writing. But I'm writing now, and people are asking me actually to write pieces for them. They're asking me for my writing, for my particular expertise in writing, whereas other people told me that I couldn't do it. Here I am at this point in my life, and I am doing it again. It's all coming back around. It's coming back full circle. Whatever you have a desire to do, whatever you believe that you're good at, trust me, it's gonna come back around. It's going to come back around. These are things you're never going to be able to let go of. These are things you're always going to come back to. For example, I know Jason Lidfeld. I know he still writes. I know it comes from time to time because writing is inherently in him. He could never let go of that creativity, and it will take different forms. Maybe he will work on writing with Marley and Miles, later on. Maybe he would publish a book later on in his life. We don't know. But these are things that he will never be able to let go of, that they will never not become a part of him because they are inherently who he is. And so whatever, I just want you to look at me for a second. Whatever someone told you that you can't do, whatever someone told you that it's not important for you to do right now, I want you to revive that dream. I want you to resurrect that dream once again. I want you to think that you can actually do these things, that you have the ability to do these things, that you have the potential to do these things. And you need to shut those voices down and you need to cancel those lies. You can write down the lies. Listen, take a pen and a paper. I do it often. What are my lies? What are the negative things that I believe about myself? What are the negative things that I believe about my gifts? And I write them down and I begin to X them out and I replace them with the truths and the affirmations of who I really am. And then I begin to operate in those belief systems. So I want you to think about right now all the dreams, all the things people told you that you couldn't do, that you wouldn't be good at. Because guess what? These are things that you're actually going to be great at. These are things that you're actually going to be able to grow in. You're going to be able to innovate in. Don't let anyone tell you there's something you can't do. You can do anything. You can grow whichever way that you want to. You are what they call divergent. That means that in any area, in any direction that you choose to go in, you will grow. You will always grow. Now think about where you are. Think about where do you volunteer? Which organizations are you actually involved in? And now let's dig a little deeper. Know yourself. What are my strengths? You need to know what your strengths are. What are the things that you know that are easy for you? Things that are very easy for you. What are the things that you know you need to improve upon? Now, I don't like to say these are weaknesses because what people call weaknesses for me are actually strengths. They are opportunities to grow. When people talk about something that's missing, something that's lacking, for me, that's not a negative thing. That's just an area where you can grow and you can become such a great person at taking those areas and taking those things that you need to improve upon, that there is literally nothing that you cannot not do. You can grow in any area. You can do anything. And so some of you, for example, some of you might be working at daycares. Who told you that you couldn't be a daycare director? Yes, you can. Maybe you think to yourself, well, I'm not very good at administrating. I'm not very good at administration. Well, that means that these are areas that you can improve upon. And so nobody can tell you that you can't do something but yourself. So that means that your language and your thinking is going to change, and you're going to say to yourself, I can do this. I can run an early childhood center. Why can't I? Who told me that I can't do that? Okay. One time I was having a walk with one of my friends, and I remember saying to him, we were outside and we were looking at the birds, and the birds were chirping, and they were flying and they were playing, and they were singing. And I said to my friend, who told the birds that they could fly? And he said to me, well, they just can't. They were created to fly. I said, exactly. But if somebody had told them that they couldn't fly, they had kept them in a cage, they wouldn't be able to do what they were created to do. And so if you can think of yourself back as a child and all of the things you knew that you could do as a child, I want you to have that same childlike mentality and that same childlike belief to explore things. See, one of the things I love about early childhood is that everything is new for a child. I can show a child, for example, I have a quarter right now. I think this is a Canadian quarter, actually. No, it's the United States. I have a quarter, and I can tell the child so many things about this quarter. Look, look at this quarter. Look at how cool it is. What color is it? And it's interesting for them. They're interested in it. It's a discovery. They say, wow, what can I do with this quarter? I can roll it. I can let it fall flat. It can make a sound. How does it feel like against my face? What does it feel like with my fingers? I can explore everything when it comes to this quarter because I have this childlike mentality and I have this childlike creativity and exploration. Don't lose your exploration. Explore everything around you because there's so many other things to discover. There's so many other things to learn and to know about those things around you. And so, yeah, okay, we're gonna move on a little bit. Okay, I think we're out at the end of our presentation now. Guys, I want you to ask questions. I want you to ask questions. We're going to go into the review, but I want you all to ask questions because this is actually one of the most exciting things. I want you to tell me what your major is. I want you to tell me where you work at. I want you to tell me what are the roadblocks or the things that you have found difficult for you to explore and expand upon. I want to learn these things. I want to know how I can help you develop a plan so that you can innovate and you can just do groundbreaking ideas and expand upon them and multiply. Now let's review. Innovating leaders. What do we learn today? We learned that you need to believe. You need to believe in yourself. You need to believe in yourself. And what you believe about yourself affects the way you think, affects the way you think, affects the way you operate, right? You do it because you want to serve others, right? And then you execute. You execute a plan right now. You don't wait for later. You don't wait to develop those skills later. You develop those skills right now in the environments where you are. Now, another thing I want to tell you is that wherever you are right now is where you're supposed to be. Wherever you are right now is where you're supposed to be. If you're always thinking about tomorrow, you will always be thinking about tomorrow because tomorrow has another tomorrow. So if I'm thinking about tomorrow today, then when tomorrow comes, I will think about the next tomorrow. And I will think about the next tomorrow. And I will never get to today. And I will never get to live in the present of today and do the things that I know that I can do today. So you serve others now. You think differently now. You believe in yourself and that you can grow and you can do different things and you can expand and create and innovate and have great ideas and serve people and love people and make a better world right now, today. Okay? Now you're going to grow because you're a seed. So you've planted yourself at Hostos. You planted yourself in your particular field of study. You've planted yourself somewhere. And so that means wherever you are, you're about to grow exponentially. You're about to spread out seeds. And it's going to be amazing. You're going to be indispensable to those around you. And you need to self examine. You need to know, okay, what am I really good at? You know, now there are things that are not really necessary for you. So, for example, let's say I'm not musically gifted like other people, but I also don't need to be musically gifted to do what I want to do, what I have a desire to do, or what I'm passionate about. I don't have to be musically gifted for that. And so just because I can't do something or there's something that I'm not really good at doesn't mean that I have to explore that too. So explore the things that are to be improved upon, that have something to do or that are aligned somehow with what you desire the most, with what you're passionate about the most. Okay, so self examine, learn yourself. Another thing I want to also talk about is when I was talking about serving and doing things because you want to serve others. Now, we also can't ignore the fact that there are people that want to self promote and they want to do things because they want to show themselves great and awesome and they want all the praise to themselves. And so it's not really for the people, it's not really about the people, it's about them. Now, if you can recognize that, listen, I'm not going to judge you, okay? I just want you to self examine and identify where that comes from, because that usually comes from some type of insecurity or some type of fear. Like, I have a fear that I won't be recognized, or I have a fear that I won't be good enough. I have a fear that if I don't use these means to climb the ladder, the imaginary ladder, or the ladder that the world said that you're supposed to climb, um, that if I don't do these things by these means, that I won't make it or that I won't be successful. But a true leader is measured by the success of the success of a true leader is measured by how well you serve those around you, how well you love those around you wherever you are. And so you can start even with those that you live with. For example, I have a roommate. I have a roommate that's always tired, or that has been really tired lately. And how can I serve her in my immediate circle right now? I can offer for her to, I'll do your chores, around the house for a week. I can offer her, I don't know, some trip somewhere to get a massage. These are ways that I can serve those around me, that I can help those around me. So that means that you don't wait until later, you do it right now with those that are around you. And so you think of how well you can help and serve those around you. Another thing, try again, try again, try again, try again. There's this Aaliyah song that says, if at first you don't succeed, dust yourself off and try again. So dust yourself off and try again. Dust it off, try again, do it again. When I first went to college, I remember we had this assignment where we had to interview somebody we admired. And I couldn't reach the woman that I admire and that I really look up to. I couldn't reach her. But a friend of hers actually was available for me to speak to. And now I really wanted to speak to a woman of color. I really wanted to speak to a woman, of course. I wanted to speak to somebody that had achieved certain things in her life. And this particular woman that I interviewed, she actually had 4 doctorates. Now, not two, one is a lot. She had 4 doctorates, y'all. And in the process of me asking her, well, what was the hardest thing you had to learn? She said, I had to learn to embrace failure. And I said, wait, what? She said, yeah, there were many times that I was going into that room and I knew that they were not going to accept my dissertation, but I still had to do it. I still had to go and fail. I still had to fall on my face. I had to fail at certain things and I had to learn. And those were the best gifts, she said to me. Those were the things that really helped me become who I am. Failing is a great thing. And so try again. It doesn't work the first time. You didn't get that job that you wanted to get. You didn't get into that school you wanted to get. You know what? There's a better school for you. Wherever you are is exactly where you're supposed to be. So try again, try again, try again, try again, try again. And because you're already changing your belief system, there is no way that you can try again and then think of yourself as not being good enough or not having the ability to do those things that you want to do, because you will always try again. You will believe that you are the best in your particular field of study, in your particular things that you want to do. And surprise yourself. Give yourself an opportunity to learn new things. I did a video last week, my very first video. I did. I had never done a video together, put it together, and somehow I recruited 12 women to help me. And they all made videos, and I put them together. I stitched them together. I added music. I added pictures. I did all these things, and it was my first time creating a video. Now I know that it wasn't the most professional, sophisticated thing in the world, but having the opportunity to do it once, it was enough for me to know that I could do it again, and that the next time I do it is going to be even better. If you do something enough times, you're going to get better and better and better and better at it. And so surprise yourself. Try again. Give yourself a chance. Believe in yourself. Think differently. Challenge the status quo. Serve others. Execute a plan. And you're going to be part of this great, amazing world that we're going to build, because we have to believe. We have to believe that we're building a better world. We have to believe in that. And so, no matter what circumstances, no matter what things happen around you, they might not be so great, but you are great. And you need to be great on purpose. So, be great, great, great on purpose. Okay, I want to take some questions now. I want it to be a little bit more interactive. And I want you all to ask me questions and to tell me just the things that you're interested in. Or should I read some things in the chat? There's some things in the chat. Hmm.
So I think Stefan's going to help you. He was monitoring the chat, and I think he can read some of the stuff that was there.
Okay, great.
Hi, I'm here. I'm here, boss.
Hi, Stefan.
Hi, how are you?
Good, how are you?
Good, good, good. It's been a while. Okay, I don't have much in terms of the chat right now. I will read as the chat comes in.
Okay. I did see some things. Isabel Neira? No. Folu?
Yeah, Folu had something that she said. Folu, you want to speak on the...
Oh, he can't talk right now.
All right, Stefan, can you read the thing from Folu? So I'll start, and then Stefan can catch up. I'm currently a liberal arts major, but I'll transfer to computer science, cybersecurity, from a previous digital design major I took. I edited some videos and posters for some people. I also learned some animation, so the knowledge wasn't wasted.
Okay, perfect. Definitely. Folu, so you are studying, you are in liberal arts at Hostos, but I'm guessing you planning to do computer science in your 4-year school, or are you planning to do that um, in at Hostos?
Yeah, she's planning to do it in her 4-year school.
Okay, awesome. So the awesome thing about every experience that you've had is that you already uh, started doing those things, right? And so you didn't wait until you had the degree to begin to use these skills in computer science, these skills with, digital design. You already started doing these things. Now, if you can think of how can I serve the people around me? How can I serve the organizations around me with the skills that I have when it comes to computer, right? Computer science. If you can think of these things, you can develop a plan and you can actually start building your career even before you have your degree. You can already begin to use your career. And now, one of the things that it's very important, and I say this to my students as well, using your skills right now, one of the reasons it's so key is because when you are studying at school, then you know what things to pay attention to. Then you're not taking classes just because you're meeting some type of prerequisite and because somebody else already designed a major for you. When you go to school, there are classes that you have to take that you might not really be interested in. There were classes, well, Jason knows. I did not care for math. I did not care for math. I could skip right over that one, right? But there were things that I knew that I needed to pay attention to because I already kind of knew the path that I was going to. And so that's why it's so important to use them right now, and you get the skills. You don't get the skills when you get the job. You get the skills now because you put yourself, remember, you're planting yourself as a seed. So you're putting yourself in the situation that you want to be in. Okay. Somebody else. I have Chris Nificient.
Chris Nicholson says, my goals and career is either mentor or assistant district attorney, criminal justice major, and I love the law and the medical field, but not sure.
Okay, great. So, um, you love the law, and particularly in the medical field. Okay, that's very specific. Now, who can you find that is already on those environments, in the environments that you specifically are interested in, right? People that practice law, especially when it comes to the medical field. Who can you find? Can you find somebody that you admire, that you really look up to, that you can tell them, hey, could you mentor me? Or could I work for you? No, you know what? This is the best question. How can I serve you? How can I help you? I want to help you. And as I'm helping you, I will then acquire the knowledge and the skills and put myself, especially in the situations that I want to be in. Okay. And so this is what I would have to say to you, Chris Nificient.
Okay, so the next one comes from Maite, who says, how can you motivate yourself to even try when people around you don't think you can achieve it? Also, my mom doesn't think very highly of my major, early childhood education, so it's very depressing.
Okay, I hear you. I hear you. Absolutely, Maite. Maite, is that how you say your name? I will say. Okay, so how can you motivate yourself? So when you are telling me that your mom doesn't think very well of your major, and you're telling me that it is depressing, and you're asking me about how you can motivate yourself, that lets me know that already those lies began to seep into your belief system. So this is what you're going to do, Maite. You're going to write down the lies that you have believed about yourself as a result of what your mother has said. You're going to believe the lies that you're not going to believe the lies. Sorry, scratch that. You're going to write down the lies that you have believed about yourself. And you're going to begin to scratch them and say, that's not who I am. That's not who I am. That's not who I am. And I will not say this about my major if it's what you're passionate about. And one of the ways that you can motivate yourself, especially when it comes to early childhood, think about why you love early childhood. Why do you love it? Why are you excited about going into the early childhood field? What makes you excited? What makes you come alive? What is it about children, right? And so one of the things is that in me finding information when it came to this presentation, I bumped into some videos of some babies that I worked for, that I worked with. And I saw this video of a specific um, activity, so the mentally appropriate activity I had done to have the baby roll over. The baby was only 4 months old. And it was so exciting for me to just see that video of that baby doing that activity, because it's something that I love to do. So, Maite, I want you to really listen to me. Write down why you love early childhood. Why do you love children? Why do you love that field? What makes you come alive? And then the second thing that I want you to do is I want you to find somebody that is in that field and that loves that field, that has that same spirit that you have, that has the same temperament that you have. And I want you to work alongside them. See, the truth of the matter is that no human being grows by themselves. We were meant we were meant to be together. We were meant to be in community. So this is why we have the Leadership Academy. Why do we do this? Why do we do this every Friday? Why do we come together? Why do we do things together? Because we need each other. We need the encouragement of each other. We are getting somewhere together. And so because we're getting somewhere together, we need to rely on one another. So when you need that extra motivation, when you're feeling some type of way, my day, I want you to rely on those around you. I want you to rely on those who believe in you. And I want you to find somebody that has the same spirit that you have and work alongside them so that you continuously are inspired. Continuously are inspired. Okay. And somebody else, I hope that helped you. I hope that helped you, Maite, anytime. And I also want to say to you guys, if any of you, I don't know if there's a way to share my information, but if any of you have any more questions or you want to talk to me and I'm here for you. I want to help you because I realize a lot of the things that I know now, I wish I would have learned in high school. And if somebody would have taught me these things in high school, I could have built a better plan for my life for the rest of my life. And I'm not regretful because every experience and everything that I've been through thus far has led me here. But then also, um, you know, if I had had these tools, if I had these things, if people would have just seen me as more than I was at the moment and had told me, hey, you have the opportunity to grow in different areas and to do different things, I think I would have given myself a chance and an opportunity to go into different fields and to explore different areas and different things. And so, but nothing is wasted. So even if you're that person, if you're thinking, oh, I can't do this anymore, I wasted so much time, that's not true. Again, that's a lie. I want you to write down those lies and scratch them. And, sometimes you might even have to burn them. Just don't burn down the house, please. Don't do that. But you might have to rid of yourself of those lies because they're not who you are anymore. I would tell you this is so powerful because there's always lies that we believe about ourselves, and there's always truths that we can replace and we can move forward and grow with. When I was in college, in my 4-year college, in 9 college, I took a class that was meant for all leaders. I graduated college called Personal Spiritual Formation. And in the class, at the end of the class, we went on a retreat. And for 24 hours, we didn't speak to another human being. We took a vow of silence and we went into the woods and they left me in the woods all by myself on a tree stump. I still remember it to this day. And they left me there. And all I had was this gift bag that they gave me. And I'm like, man, what is this? So when I opened up the gift bag, I had a card, and in the card it said, you today, this is the gift that you are to unwrap. You are the gift that you are to unwrap. And I said, what? I am the gift that I am to unwrap. And when I opened it, it was a mirror. It was a mirror, and the mirror had words written on them. And the words were, you are magnificent. You are incredible. You're creative. You're capable. You're beautiful. And because at that moment in my life, I didn't believe those things about myself, when I looked at my reflection and I looked at those words, it hurt because I said, I don't feel beautiful and I don't feel capable and I don't feel important. I don't feel these things. But because we had that vow of silence and all I had that mirror and uh, that journal. I had that journal. I had my Bible. I had a few things. All that I had were these things, and I had these truths staring at me in the face. I had to process the fact that I am beautiful and I am capable and I am amazing and I am important. And then from that day forward, I began to believe those things about myself. And so, yeah. Any other questions? Any other questions? Or something that inspired you, something that helped you?
Stefan, do you see any other questions in the chat?
No, everybody's just thanking you so much for your presentation. They're just wanting you to know that they're really grateful for the presentation.
Oh, of course. Anytime. Anytime. I love you guys. I wish I could see your faces. I wish we could be in person. Yeah. Um, anytime, anything that you guys need, I am here for you. And you will have an amazing leader. Jason, he is always working tirelessly for you all to make sure that you all get into your purpose and that you plant yourself where you need to be, and that you grow, that you have the resources, whatever resources he can provide you with. I am sure that he will make sure that you have those, and that's what these workshops are for you to grow and learn and expand and be who you were created to be. And so, yeah, I love you guys. I love you, Jason.
I love you too. Um, so, just in terms of uh, your journey from Hostos to where you are now, and you talked a little bit about it. Can you flesh it out a little bit in terms of like, where you made the upswing, what's still ahead, things like that?
Okay, absolutely. Okay, so I went to Hostos. I'm gonna tell on myself a little bit. So um, I um, began to do early childhood education at Hostos uh, because I love teaching, but also because um, my nieces were born. And when my nieces were born, I was very interested in the way that they were developing and the way that they were growing. And so that is actually the reason I went into early childhood. Now, I was actually done or close to done when I found out about the Leadership Academy. I found out a year after I had already been attending Hostos. And I love the Leadership Academy so much. I wanted to stay an extra semester. And so I went to my advisor and I said, hey, I want to change my major to liberal arts so that I can stay another semester and be part of the Leadership Academy. And she told me, you're crazy. And I said, well, this is what I want to do. So I want to do it. And so, yes. So this is what I want to do. And so I stayed an extra semester at Hostos, and for it, just like all of you guys, I was a part of the workshops. I was a part of volunteering in the community. For me, the Leadership Academy was really my family. What made the experience at Hostos the best experience for me was the Leadership Academy. And I was also a part of PTK when I was at Hostos. Um, and Yeah, and that was awesome. And then I applied to Naya College. And so I went to Naya College and I dormed at Naya College. So Naya College right now, they only have the New York City campus, but at that time they had a campus that was outside of the skirts of the city. And so um, I went to Naya College for 3.5 years, and it was different, y'all. It was really different. I want you all to be prepared, okay? Because you're at Hostos, and it feels like family. It feels really comfortable, and then when you get to your 4-year school, oh man, it is not the same, okay? So the most important thing for you to know when you move on to your 4-year school is that it's very important for you to find community. Find community. Find community. And so you can get involved with the groups that you have over there. You can also stay in touch with the Leadership Academy. I mean, I'm still a part of the Leadership Academy, and I graduated Hostos. Oof, long time ago. I'm not gonna tell you guys how long ago. But you know, it's important for you to find community, stay together with people who encourage you and people who motivate you. You're gonna change. You're gonna change. Your interests are gonna change. It will be challenging. You're gonna need to have another level of responsibility and another level of work ethic, even when it comes to homeworks and projects that you need to do. See, when I was at Hostos, I did this thing with one of my classes. Um, she was actually the toughest professor in the early childhood department. She was the toughest professor. But I wanted, again, when I was at Hostos, I loved being a part of the Student Leadership Academy. So I wanted to make sure that I didn't miss anything. So I took the syllabus for this particular professor when I was at Hostos. And I told myself that all of the assignments were due in a week. Yes, I told myself all of these assignments are due in 1 week. And when I tell you guys, I worked so hard and I completed this entire packet and I handed it to the professor. I said, Professor, here is everything that is due for the rest of the semester. She was like, what? No student has ever done this for me. And she was so impressed. She wrote me a great recommendation letter. And we stayed in touch years after that. But I was able to do that because I had a goal, and my goal was, well, I want to be a part of all these activities and all these things, and I don't want to be thinking about all the schoolwork that I have to do in the back of my head. Now, I had really great grades when I was at Hostos. I think the only class that I wasn't doing so good at was math because I've never been a mathematical person. I wasn't my strong suit. But all the other
I
classes,
felt that.
I was acing. Yeah, I hear you. I hear you. I hear you. Not a math person at all. And so I was doing well at my other classes, and planning really helped me. And so plan for your success, plan for where you need to be. So especially when you're in your 4-year school, let me tell you guys, my first semester of my 4-year school, I was actually taking 7 classes, and it was very challenging. The amount of work that I had just for one class was the same amount of work that I had for 6 classes that I was taking at Hostos. So I was taking 6 classes at Hostos just fine. I was getting A's just fine. And then I had one class in my senior school that was taking all this work for me. And the way that I was able to power through it was to plan. also you need to know the things that you need at different times, and again, belief systems are everything. I had a professor on my senior school that I think now I can say after all these years that I really believe she had a mental problem or something, because she would pressure us to the point that all of us were like in the verge of a nervous breakdown, and she would make it seem almost impossible for us to do the things that we needed to do. One example would be um, we were observing a class on Mondays and Wednesdays, and we received an email, I think Thursday morning, that where this professor was scolding us, a group of us in the early childhood department. She was scolding us and telling us that we weren't dressing appropriately for the school, and that the school was complaining that we weren't dressing appropriately. And we were all like so nervous. Oh my goodness, we're not going to be able to come back to the school. Like, we really messed up. Like, what's happening? And when we go back to the school, I'm the type of person that I would rather communicate with you than to have things hanging in the back of my head. Like, you know, maybe they don't like me. Da, 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 da. No, no, no. I'm going to talk to you about it. I'm going to ask you, hey, is there something going on? Is there something that we can talk about that we need to, figure out between us? And the teacher was so incredibly sorry. She said, I'm so sorry. I actually didn't complain like that to your professor. She asked me and pushed me for something wrong. She wanted something. She wanted to find something wrong with you all, with what you all were doing, so that she could send you an email and basically complain. She wanted something to complain to us about. I tell you that story because there will be people. See, there's people that are hurting in the world. And, I could go on a lot about, what this particular professor, because she told me a story about her dad. And so I knew where her wounds came from, and I knew why she was operating in the way that she was. But there will be people in the world that will discourage you, and they won't believe in you, and they will try to push you to your limits. But the point that I'm trying to make is you need to know what you need at the different times that you need them. Because when I was at college, I was so nervous all the time. And then we also had to do this thing for teaching called the Edtpa, which is basically 30 pages of information of why you taught. So you have to have a whole set of um, lesson plans, a whole unit of lesson plans. And then you have to explain yourself why you chose these lesson plans and why you chose the different strategies to help the children, and what was the proof that you really did help the children. So you have to write these 30 pages. And this is all to become a part, to be certified in the state of New York. And so I was so nervous that I had anxiety attacks. I had anxiety attacks at the school. And so I went to the counseling center and I asked for help. I needed help. So I want you guys to know that it's okay to ask for help. It's okay to go to the different people that are there to help you, the different resources that you may have. And I know Hostos has counseling resources as well. And that you go and you say, hey, I need help. I'm not doing well right now. I'm not able to sleep right now. So whatever it is that you need, whatever type of support, I want you all to know it's okay to ask for help, especially people of color. They don't teach us these things. I didn't grow up in a household where my mom told me that therapy was okay. Okay. And so when you need help, ask for help. Um, what else do I want to tell you? Also, so I graduated from Nye College with both early childhood and elementary education. And so that also meant that I had two New York State certifications. So I have a certification in early childhood, birth through second grade, and I have a certification for elementary education, kindergarten through sixth grade. After all of that, I realized I really love the mental health field. And so I began, even before I finished school, I began to take the prerequisites to enter the marriage and family therapy program to begin that master's. And because of the great job that I had at the time, I was able to pay for that master's when I began the master's. So I haven't finished it yet. I was able to pay out of pocket, even though it was really expensive. But I was able to finance my own education. That's what I'm trying to say. Um, so yeah, so I did that. I'm trying to think. I have had just many jobs, many things that I've done, delved into. Ministry is a big one for me. And so that's something that I've done for the past 5 years. I have been part of a ministry called Global Prayer in New York City. We are multicultural house of prayer. And so everybody's welcome is there to for the purpose of praying for the city and for people to find a place of rest and peace and whatever it is that they need. It's also a very creative ministry, which is aligned with who I am. And so we're able to do things. We're able to paint. We're able to dance, just create things in that prayer room. And so I've been doing that. As of most recently, I am currently working in operations for the Charter School of the Arts of New York. I'm sorry, it's a long name. Charter Schools of the Arts of New York. It's all the way downtown in the ground zero. And it's the only middle school in New York City that's only specifically for the arts. So they have a very interesting way that they integrate the curriculum for artists just for middle school. And so they do like coding through arts. They infuse arts in everything. So every subject that the students learn, it's all through arts. And so I am currently doing operations over there, and that's what I'm doing. I'm also writing on the side. I'm dancing on the side. I have a few other projects. Just there's many different things that I'm doing and that I'm growing um, in different ways. Oh, Chris Nificent asks if I am a Christian. I so this is the thing. The term Christian has been so uh dirtified. It's been tossed back and forth. It's just it's terrible. The things that people do that call themselves Christians. So I don't call myself a Christian. I call myself a follower of Jesus, which for some people might seem a different thing, but um, Jesus had followers, so people that were always learning, and so I'm always learning, and I'm always learning how to love people, and so I don't consider myself exactly a Christian, but a follower of Jesus, yes, I am.
Maite asks, thank you for sharing your journey. By any chance, do you have any other contact information?
Yes. What type of information would you like? I can share my social media. Um, if you
I
are,
think Andre asked about your social media earlier, so I guess your social
oh
media
yeah,
and your
you can
email.
find me. Hephzibah Vicente. You can Hephzibah.
Yeah, I did ask just in case.
You can find me like that, Hephzibah Vicente, and you can also email me, Hephzibah Vicente at gmail.com.
And Hephzibah is also connected to me in the social media on the Facebook page. If you guys are connected to us, you can find her through there. Um, and what else? Why is Andre on my screen? I'm so
What's
weirded
wrong
out.
with that?
No, nothing wrong. I'm so weirded out by Zoom right now. It's just acting really strange these days. So, Hephzibah, I want to thank you for being here, for sharing your story and your journey. It's always the one thing that I as she mentioned, the one thing that I like to do is to give members the opportunity to explore their dreams and their desires and their goals. This was something that came up because obviously, we were without a budget, and we sent out a call for folks to join us. So we thank you for volunteering your time and sharing with us. I think it was pretty inspirational. I think I'm pretty excited and proud of you, and proud to know you. I mean, I shouldn't say proud of you, proud to know you, um, and have a great deal of love for you, as you know. Um, I remember, as Stefan will tell you, and other people will tell you, I generally remember the first time somebody came to my office. I remember that time, and the excitement that you had, and basically the instructions that you had for me about what the Leadership Academy was supposed to be, and I was, it was inspiring. I mean, I think that if you, some of the folks are still fairly new. I think and the pandemic has not allowed us to do some of the stuff that we normally would do. But I think that what you would say about your experience early on was that people would come to the office and they would say, "This is what we need to do. This is a volunteer project we need to get involved in. This is an activity that we need to try to do." And I think that that's still what we are. So as you guys think about your goals and your desires and your dreams, and whatever else you're doing, as well as your connection to what we do, there's always the opportunity to say, well, I think this person should come and speak to us. I think we should get involved in this project. I think we should get involved in, doing this activity. And I think I've always tried to be open to that, because the organization doesn't belong to me. It belongs to all of you. And so when Hephzibah, who was called a Nell back in the day, came to my office, she had that whole energy about her, and was like, "Let's make this happen." And then actually, it even it continues, because like 2 months ago, you reached out to me, and you told me about an event that was going on for Dominican Heritage Month, and you asked for some folks to come and speak, and we had, I think there was 4 or 5 of you that spoke at the event, and I was very excited to be able to be a part of that, and support your efforts even as an alumni. So my role is to just sort of like provide and support, and give you guys the opportunity. So thank you for preparing the keynote, the presentation. But I don't know how we do the virtual round of applause. Everybody has all their different things. You can do your nonverbal communication. Stefan's doing some clapping. So thank you for that. And I hope that we'll be able to do it again too. I hope that you'll continue to do the great work that you're doing. And I watch, on the side, to see all the different things that you're doing in social media, or in whatever I see on WhatsApp and things like that. So keep up the good work and do the great work. I don't know what you can see, because now I'm all weirded out. I see everything that's in the wrong place. So I see everybody. And then I just want to, we're going to end a little early today, but I want to say warm wishes for those of you that will be celebrating holidays over the next couple of days. Warm wishes for those of you that will be out and about and enjoying spring break. Please be careful, stay safe. We want you to be healthy and happy, and return to us in a couple of days. I'm going to take some days off myself, and try to negotiate with my children what's going to happen. And so enjoy the warmth, enjoy your time. Thank you for being here on Friday. Thank you, Hephzibah, for being here. Thank you, Stefan, for reading the questions. Thank you, Andre, for being on camera. Thank you,
Can we
everybody.
also clap for Jason? Can we clap for Jason for making it happen? Thank you, boss. Thank you, boss. We
you.
love you.
I love you all very much. I'm really happy that we were able to do this. I'll give you one quick update. We are working on getting the movie series up and running, so that'll be something that you can do on your own. But I am planning on ordering some movies and getting somebody to do some curating of them. So people who have asked about that, we're going to get that up and running. And then one other thing for those of you that may have missed the conference last week, or were at the conference last week. So this is the secret code, like for all of those of you who play video games and things, in the secret code. Now, this is the secret code. I have worked out with Geo that in addition to the 20 books that we're going to get for people who come to the Emerging Leaders Conference, that there are 20 more books just for us. So if you were one of the people who responded to the survey in the first 20, you're not going to get that. It's the same copy you're going to get. But we're going to give it to 20 people who are not Hostos students who are participants there. And then we have 20 additional books. So if you were there and you filled out the survey, you're on the list and you're going to get the book. And if you were not there and you want to watch Geo's keynote, or you want to get in touch with me and find out how to get Geo's book, you can reach out to Stefan. And he will give you all the links, since he's the big shot, working at CUNY and all that good stuff. But we will have some extra books. I saw that probably five of our group did fill out the survey. I know some others of you were at the conference last week. So if you're interested, please just fill out that survey, and there will be 20 books in addition to the 20 that we give out to the people who attend the conferences who are not Hostel students.
Did you email the survey, Jason, or we have to request in order to get the link?
Estelle, I will have Stefan share that with you.
Okay, thank you.
And we'll get through that. And that's it. And let's go have an enjoyable time over the next couple of days. And I miss you and love you, and I look forward to the time that we can all be together again in person in our space. I look at those pictures every day, and I miss you guys. Take care. Enjoy. Celebrate. Relish the time with your family if you can do that. And know that you have my support forever. I'll see you guys soon.
Bye-bye. Thank you. Have a
Bye,
lovely
everyone.
spring break.
Peace and love to everyone. Have a great day.
Bye, boss.
Hey, I like Hephzibah. Bye, Afnan. Bye, Yanira. Bye, Muhammad. Bye, Felucio. Bye, Denise. Bye, Naomi. Bye, Janelli.
Denise.
Bye, Franco.
Be
Bye.
safe, boss.
Bye, Norma. Bye. Before you go, Denise. Yes. Bye, Isabel. Bye, Stefan. Bye, Bridget.
Farewell.
Everybody. See you in a few days.